Hello and welcome to your ABQ. My name is Kate Shields. I am one of your instructors. You do have two. The other one, his name is Frank. So an ABQ is always more work than an AQ because you are getting the qualifications for another division. So there's 62 and a half hours worth of work for my modules, and then there's 62 and a half hours worth of work for your core. So that's the stuff you're doing with Frank. So it's like a little mini teacher's college as well as with your teachable information, which is the stuff that you're doing with me. So the teacher's college part, the core, is modules 1, 2, 3, and then your subject-specific stuff is my stuff 4 through 9. So I know it's quite confusing in there, it's quite muddled. We really do wish that you could complete the core and then move on to mine or something, but actually that's beyond a NIPSEN's decision. It's the way OCT wanted it run and organized. So I apologize for the confusion. Once you get in there, it starts making sense that you're working on kind of two different core shells at the same time. So hopefully you can follow along. I do provide you with a good little study guide that shows you week by week what you should be working on. So hopefully that starts making sense to you. The other thing I like to clarify right away, because I usually have a lot of primary or elementary teachers who are taking this to be able to teach in another division, that social science in secondary is not the same thing as social studies. So this will not qualify you to teach history and geography at the secondary level. That's a whole other curriculum document for us that deals with C course codes. This is to get you qualified to deal with anything with an H course code. So most likely you're in this because you have some background in psych, soc, anthro. It teaches all of those as well as religion. It teaches cooking of all things as well. It's quite a mix of different teachable subjects, the H course code, as you're going to discover, but certainly not history and geography. That's a different kind of world for us in secondary. To give you kind of at a quick glance where you need to start in the course, on the left-hand side in the menu, I've kind of reorganized it so the three things you need to go into are like one after another. So the course content is kind of like the textbook, the stuff you should be reading through every week, and kind of explains the discussions, and there's a quick link to discussions. But every 2 weeks there's a course assignment, and those are like your evaluation pieces. And this is the list of all the assignments down here and the weighting that it is for each one of them. So please don't forget to also do the assignments as well as the discussion posts. So the way I have it set up is every 2 weeks is a new module kind of rolls out. So this is a study schedule here. So you can see during that first week you start with module 1 with Frank and you're in module 4 with me. I know, super confusing, but these are kind of the tasks you should be focusing on. The next week you're still in module 1 with Frank and then still in module 4 with me. But you can see week 3 here, you're still in module 1 with Frank, but now you switch to module 5 with me. So every 2 weeks there's a different module for me, and I have the due dates set up for Sundays. Usually I did them around Wednesdays, and people found it confusing with the due dates that Frank had laid out. So I'm trying to follow a little closer to Frank's and make it easier. Hopefully that works out for everyone. But if you have any questions or concerns about the due dates, please let me know. My biggest concern with rolling it this way is that we end up on like the July 1st holiday, and we end up on the Civic Long Weekend holiday for some due dates. So if that causes a concern, certainly we can work around those holidays. Submitting stuff, so I believe Frank is still using things with email, whereas I'm using the actual Dropbox within Blackboard, so I can keep track of all the marks in there. You should have an ongoing, if you click on the grades tab, you should be able to see your grades as I mark things through. I'm usually pretty quick within marking too, usually within 24 hours I've seen your assignment and marked it. So please use a Dropbox. I will not accept them through email, and actually I don't even have a way to impersonate like you do in other LMSs to be able to put it in there for you. So I really need you to do it in Blackboard. Discussion posts, things have gotten really great with these over the years. Just really making sure you create a new thread for your own rather than replying. Like, you do need to reply though, so you need to reply to one other person in the course. When you reply, you get 0.25 of a mark, and then when you actually post something, it's a 1 full mark. So that's how you start racking them up. If you're not liking the way things are threaded, try playing around with the display here on the right hand side of Blackboard, and you might get a better view of the thread. If you need an extension on due dates, I am glad to do that, but it needs to come in writing before the due date because I do have to eventually submit that all to Nipissing, which is totally fine. I will 100% approve any kind of extensions, but if you just send me a quick email, need an extension, I will grant it for sure. If you are ever confused of when something's due, refer to your study guide or certainly give me a quick email and I'll let you know where we're at. And my general guideline is to keep things short and sweet. Like the discussion posts do not need to be long essays. Please keep them to a discussion-like length. And the same thing for the assignments. Nothing here requires something extremely long, other than the full unit plan, which is the thing at the end that is worth the most amount of marks, clearly. So everything is meant to be pretty simple. Lastly, I'd like to recommend, because a lot of you don't check your Nipissing University email very frequently. So if I am trying to contact you, it will be through the Nipissing email. But if you use another email more regularly, if you go into Nipissing's Gmail account, there is a way to change the settings so that it will forward all your emails to something that you use more often. So please feel free to go in there and change those settings so that you get a copy into an email address that you check regularly, or something maybe that comes up on your phone that you will see a reply from me. All right, and that's it for the beginning. Good luck with that, and I'm happy to start this learning journey with you. Thanks.